It doesn't work like that.
Mm-mm,
But when
mm-mm.
you have a life or death experience, right? When you have this death defying experience and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that no more, then you'll stop.
Right.
So it's not until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired is when you'll make the change.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sis Stop Sulking podcast. I am your host, Miss Tasha Talks Life. This is a safe space for women that prioritize their health, self-care, and their dreams. And today's episode is going to be fire. I already know. So I have a special guest, Dr. Sheniqua, who also goes by Sheniqua Inspires. Just a little quick backstory before I have her introduce herself. We met maybe a month or two ago at an event, and she came in flashy and beautiful. I was like, who's that? And she did a talk and lit the room up on fire. She put a real fire under me. So I had to have her come on to bless you guys. So please, Dr. Sheniqua, please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hey, everybody. I am Dr. Sheniqua Johnson, aka Sheniqua Inspires. And listen, I do a little bit of everything. I am a registered nurse by profession, but I also hold an honorary doctorate degree. So I have my PhD. And so that is where the doctor title comes in. I think when people see that, they automatically think a medical practitioner. But this is where the world needs to learn how to start elevating and enhancing the mindset, right? A doctor can be your dentist. It could be your radiologist. Growing up, I even had one of my music teachers in fifth grade. My fifth grade music teacher was a doctor. And as children, we didn't understand that title. But as an adult, it is important to me to make certain that we are teaching people that we can achieve these higher regards, right? We can get these higher accolades, and it adds to what it is that we are designed to do here on this earth. And so I am an encourager by nature. I am flattered. I am honored that you said that I lit the room on fire, because that is my intention. My intention is to bring forth that positivity, to bring forth that encouragement, and of course, that inspiration that is going to get you to live your best life on purpose. So
Yes.
I'm a CEO, I'm a mother, I am a certified business coach. Let me tell you, I just do a little bit of everything, and I'm loving this journey of life that God has me on.
Yes. Do you see? Do you see? No, I first of all, you inspire me so much because
Yes.
I think that is so dope. And I think, like you said, when people think of doctor, they think of like, a physician or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so just to know that there is another level to it, and also
Yes.
that mental health and in women, Black women specifically, is very,
Mm-hmm.
very important. And to have that knowledge and to be able
Mm-hmm.
to pour it into other women in different lanes because you do so many different things. I think that is wonderful and beautiful. So thank you so much for being
Absolutely.
here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for
So,
having me.
yeah, so let's talk a little bit about your story, your journey. Like, where I know you were in excuse me, I know you were in nursing first, and then what came after, or how? Tell us a little bit about your story where you came to Dr. Sheniqua.
Well, I've been a registered nurse for over 22 years. I think I'm in my 22nd year. And I love what it is that I do I've been in the healthcare space. One of the things that I did watch was, especially after working in the hospital, when I started out my nursing career, I worked in the hospital.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I noticed is that people were coming back in. They were like revolving doors, right? So they'd come in, you'd send them for all the tests, they'd go for all the procedures, but then for some reason you would see them back in the door, whether it was a few weeks later, a few months later, or what have you. We would always just kind of see them coming back, and they would come back with the same issues. So as I started to evolve in my career, I had to figure out why. Right? You know how we start asking ourselves that why? It's not just the 5-year-old kids that do it, but why? But why? Even as adults, we have to ask ourselves why. So why are these people coming back in? I mean, I did my best as a nurse. I was caring, I was loving, I taught them what they needed to know. And the missing link was people wanting to do better,
Mm.
right? And not only wanting to do better, but being motivated to doing better, having the tools and the resources to do better, and then actually applying it. So I use that principle, that missing piece, to start my journey in business. So I started my business, A Better You LLC, where I help busy multitasking women reprioritize their lives. Like, it's time for us to put us to the forefront of the line, to put ourselves at the top of the list, and understand that it's not selfish. So I help women, I empower them, I give them tools and resources that they can become their best selves, that they can live their best lives, and they can continue to serve the world 100% without subtracting anything from themselves.
Come
So we're
on.
not doing no subtraction here. It's all multiplication from this point on. And I realized that if I could teach people that missing part, if I can encourage and I can inspire and I can light that fire under people, then they will have the motivation, then they will have the accountability, they would have the support to be able to put forth those necessary steps so that they can live healthier lives. And that's physically, that's mentally, it's spiritually, it's financially, it's emotionally, it's all of those leads,
Yes.
right? But it is about us deciding that we can do these things. So just being in business, and then my mind just started, because as I coach people in business, I also have a coach. And it keeps me exercising my mindset, and it keeps me stretching my mind and my possibilities. As Black women, we are the highly educated group. We are the highest, right? We are sitting up on top of the world, baby. We
Come
are
on.
doing our thing, and we get that education. But who says that we cannot earn higher degrees? And I know everybody doesn't want to be a doctor. As a registered nurse, I had no desire to be a general practitioner, to be sitting in a clinic and having you come in and I'm writing you a prescription. That was not a desire for me. So I didn't go that route. There's also what's known as nurse practitioner. So you can have a doctorate degree and
Mhm.
still be a registered nurse. I didn't want that either. That wasn't where my heart was. My heart is to continue to stretch my mind and stretch my ability so that I can continue to do what it is that I love to do, which is show people their power, which is to show people how great they are. So when I found out, and it came from me just being in the right place, the right time, I started researching things. I realized that yes, you can get a doctorate degree in philosophy. That's what a PhD is. It's a doctorate in philosophy. And
Mm.
philosophy says that it's the study of life, it's the study of learning, that we love to learn more. We love to enhance our beings. We love to study what it is that we do, what makes people tick. Like, so there are so many types of doctorates that you can get. But this one was the best choice for me, because it now sets me apart. It now puts me at that place that I desired to be, but I get to do exactly what it is that I love to do.
No, I love that, because that's that's ultimately the goal, is to be of service, but also loving to do what it
Yes.
is that you're serving, right? And to go back a little bit to where you said, knowing that they wanted to be better and want. And
Mhm.
so in my journey, I struggled a little bit. This is how I came upon coaching, is because I'm that friend that I'm always seeking knowledge. I'm a reader. I'm
Mhm.
addicted to books, and I'm always reading and always and learning, and I always turnkey it to my friends or my family, and I'm like, do this, try this, and I feel like no one's listening, and no, but they have to want to. You can't
Yeah.
force them to
Yeah.
want to. And
Yeah.
so my one of my girlfriends said, you should be a coach. And I'm like, I don't even know. This was before. This is probably right before 2020, right before the world shut down. I was like, I don't even know
Mhm.
what that is. And so I started researching it, because that helped me to hone in on the people that wanted what I
Yes.
had to offer them, as
Yes.
opposed to feeling like I want to help everybody. Everybody needs
Yes.
to know this. So I love that way it said you got to want to get the help, or want, so, and being in that wanting to serve, that's the avenue
Mhm.
that you went. So I love that.
So with me, my brand, when I first started out in business in, what was it, 2013, 2014, my brand was Sheniqua Johnson RN.
Okay.
because I felt as though, and I rocked that RN hard, baby. I rocked it hard. Why? Because I felt like, doctors get to rock their DRs. So why can't I rock my RN? So I put that as a part of my brand. And I started out in the coaching space, in the health and wellness space. But what I found was the question that I would always get when people would come to Sheniqua Johnson RN, they would say, "Do you take insurance?" I'm not that, like, I don't know what kind of coach you think that I'm going to do, but it's not that kind of a thing. It's not like an extension of your healthcare, your home, being in a hospital. It's not that type of a thing. So I thought that it was a little bit confusing. But then I knew I was going to the process to become, to get the doctorate. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just be Dr. Sheniqua, Dr. Sheniqua. And then it was like, no, because again, that's going to confuse people. So I sat with God and I said, well, what is it that I really do? And he was like, well, you know what you do. And I said, yeah, I know what I do, but what do you think? And he's like, you just tell people who you are. Like, what is your name? And I was like, I inspire people. And then hence became Sheniqua Inspires. So yes, I go by Dr. Sheniqua Johnson, depends on where I'm at. But then I also like to just bring that loving, that comforting side to it, to say, hey, I'm just your sister girl, Sheniqua Inspires, and this is what I came to do. I came to inspire you. So whatever your goals, whatever your dreams are, we don't even have to be in the same, kind of niche area. It's just whatever your passion is. Like, I help people to walk bolder in their purpose, in their passions. So it really is about becoming self-aware. And I believe if women become more self-aware, when women understand their superpowers, oh baby, then the whole world is about to be saved. But we have
Yeah.
to make certain that everybody understands who they are and then operate in that gifting as well.
Hey, my name is Miss Tasha Talks Life, and I teach women how to create positive change in their lifestyle by making simple tweaks to their mindset, their self-care, and their goals. So join us January 6th for the Vision Board and Goal Getter Mastermind. This is a place for women that are mompreneurs. If you're a career-driven woman, if you just have an idea and you feel like you want to start a business, you want to be in this room. In this room, we will be hearing from powerhouse women that are going to pour into us and give us some tips and strategies that we can implement right away. And also, you'll be crafting your own vision boards. You'll have strategic planning for the quarter, as well as connect with like-minded women, share ideas, and expand your network. And all of this is for the early bird special of $35. Now, the price is going up, so I wouldn't wait, but get your ticket, share with a friend, buy 2 tickets and gift one to a friend. If you have someone that you know needs to be in this room, because I'm telling you, it is going to be lit. And then we have one of the best chefs in Long Island, Choices by M&R. They are going to be catering the refreshments for us. So you definitely don't want to miss this event. It's going to be game-changing opportunity for you to soar into 2024 with clarity and confidence. So go to tashatalkslife.com. There's more details there, as well as register your ticket for the early bird of $35. I cannot wait to see you. For sure. And so let's touch on that. You saying like a woman, we have to understand our superpower, and a lot of women deal with feeling less than, deal with, not knowing how to balance their self-care, not knowing how to prioritize themselves, before their family, jobs, careers, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are some ways or some things that we can tell people, we can help them to see like, okay, this is how, or this is the first steps to, walking in your power, to showing up confidently, to being bold in who you are. What would you say is like the first thing or first 2 things they need to do or know about themselves?
So let me just share a little piece of my journey with you all so that you really understand, because I don't want you to sit there and see me and say, oh, she's so bubbly, she's so perky, she's so bright, she's always like that. You think? I think I would probably tire myself out if I was like this all the time, right? So we do go through our moments, our periods in time when everything is not sunshine and roses. And there was a time when I was going through my divorce. And this was probably like the longest divorce in history. You see these celebrities, they get married and divorced in the blink of an eye. Mine has to be in the Guinness Book of World Records somewhere, because this was the longest divorce. It just dragged on for years and years. And I remember one day I went and I looked in the mirror, standing in the bathroom, and looked in the mirror. And all I saw was a gray blur.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see my high cheekbones, my chinky eyes. I didn't see, my beautiful lips. I didn't see me. And what happened was I lost myself in the fight. And I'm certain there are some women who are watching who they can agree, they can high five me on this one, that they have lost themselves in the fight. Whether you're going through a divorce, whether everything is fine, but you still can lose yourself in the fight of life, trying to get the kids to school. And I would have 2 kids in multiple schools. So I'd have to stop at this school building and then go over there to that school building and pick up doing the reverse. It was a lot. Life can be tough. Life can throw some really unfair punches. But what helped me to get out of it, first and foremost, I had to get a diagnosis in order to come out of it, right? Because I normalized what I was feeling. I normalized this gray blob. I normalized the stress. I normalized the sadness. I normalized everything that I was feeling, right? But I did not give myself permission to feel it. I ostracized myself and I just said, well, this is just something you have to deal with. People deal with it all the time. You see people in worse situations. The nerve of you to be sitting here and boo-hooing, moaning and groaning because your marriage is not working, and boo-hoo to you. There's people, you've seen people in worse places, in the hospitals. You've seen people on their deathbeds. The nerve of you. Mm-hmm. Whoa, that was so rough. I was so rough on myself. And as life is beating us down, we start beating ourselves down. Mm-hmm. We start telling ourselves that we don't have the right to feel that way. My feelings are valid.
Come on.
And so are yours, right? So how you're feeling, whether you wake up happy, whether you wake up sad, your feelings are valid. But what you need to do is that give yourself permission back. You have to give yourself permission to say, it's okay that I'm feeling not okay today. Mm-hmm. Now, what am I going to do to fix it? Same is true if you have kids and your little kid came up to you and say, mommy, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. I scratched my knee. My knee is bleeding. I got a boo-boo. What you going to do? You're going to run forth. You're not going to just be like, girl, go sit down somewhere. No, you're going to run forth. You're going to put forth all of your effort, all of your attention. You're going to grab your gauze pads. You're going to grab, whatever, peroxide, alcohol, water, soap, whatever you're going to use. You're going to grab it and you're going to tend to that wound. So why, when we are wounded, we think that it's just supposed to get better by osmosis, or, it's just going to magically start to get better. Or here's the better one. We think God is going to come whisking in and heal it for us, right? So we're just going to leave it alone, and we're just going to leave it up to God to do the work. When in actuality, we have to learn how to put ourselves at the priority list, right? We have to be able to say, in a world of busyness, in a world of everything that's going on, that I matter, right? You can hashtag I matter. I wrote this book called The Power of Choice. And what it is it gives you that permission slip to say that you get to put yourself first. You have the right to choose to put you first. It doesn't mean that I'm not putting my kids at the forefront. It doesn't mean that my career is not high on the list. What it means is that I too have the right to be at the top of the list. And that shift comes when you shift your mindset.
Absolutely. Oh my God. That is so good. I'm hearing you say, like, you have to acknowledge where you are, what's happening with you, and just how we take care of our kids and we rush to, we have to, and that's what I always say, like, prioritizing yourself. It may, when you're not used to it, or you don't know what that, it may sound like, oh, but what about my kids? What about this? But in order for you to be able to do that, you have to be okay. Yes. You have to be full. And if you're not putting yourself first, then nothing else is going to work anyway, because you're depleted. Maya Angelou, you can't, Oprah, you can't give from an empty cup. So I love that. And I just feel the passion in your voice on how you want to support these women to know the power of choice, right? The power
Absolutely.
of choosing and knowing to choose yourself in order for everything else to be good. And I also love that you said looking at yourself and knowing that it's okay to not be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that was something that I had to learn, right? Because
Yes.
I was a type, I'm an overachiever, recovering people pleaser, right? No one's coming to save me. I gotta, make it work, put on a smiley face. And then at night I'm exhausted or I'm feeling down and realizing like, okay, today just wasn't the day. And that's okay. Today I don't feel good, and that's okay. And so I love that you said that, because I think so many women can really take I was looking for my pen, could take some notes from that, just that alone. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And we know the saying, right? We know the saying. We've heard this a million times before. When you're on the airplane, right? They give you the instructions. They tell you that you have to put your oxygen mask on first in order to help anybody else. So yes, we know you want, little Timmy, little Samantha to be okay. We got that. But you have to serve yourself first. You have to put yourself, the oxygen mask on yourself first. And then you can start running around assisting everybody in your family. But here's another thing that people don't realize. And I remember one time sitting on the airplane, and I think we get so immune to the instructions that we even stop listening to it, because it's like, yeah, I know, me first, then them, I got it. But what they also say when they're giving us these instructions is that once you put this oxygen mask on, even if you don't see the air flowing, it's still flowing.
Mm,
Even if you don't see nothing happening, trust and believe that it is still flowing. So we think that everything has to be fireworks, like it's the 4th of July, that we've got to hit everything on our to-do list. No, ma'am. No,
come on,
sir.
come on.
If I got up, baby, if I got dressed, I'm already batting 100. I'm batting 100 right there. I took a shower, child, please. I am winning. Hashtag winning, right? We need to learn to celebrate every step, not just the major accomplishments. Okay, you graduated from school, you got the promotion, yay, yay, yay. But you should celebrate your small wins. You registered for school. You made it today. You did schoolwork and housework at the same time. Hashtag go you. Right. So we need to learn how to celebrate ourselves. And even on the days when we're just laying in the bed, right? We ain't cooked no dinner. We ain't did no work. But you know what? We maintained. Hashtag winning. I'm still winning because I'm a winner. Right. And when you're a winner, you have consecutive wins. So even if you might think I didn't make it through all of my to-do list, I'm still winning. Why? Because I'm a winner. And when you wear that winner mentality, you know that you don't always have to be lights flashing on the go all the time. I can win when I'm binge watching TV. Made it through season 2. Come on, me. Season 3, loading, right? So we have to learn how to celebrate ourselves. And it's whether we're on our highs or whether we're on our lows. It is just about how we treat ourselves.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's really good, because I didn't even think about that. I'm like, you know what? Yes.
Yes.
Right. Yes. It's just like something I just say, I'm just giving myself grace today. Today is just a grace day.
Look, and you can have consecutive grace days. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can look, child. Look, I'll start again next week. Do that. If that's what you need in that moment in time, then so be it.
And unapologetically, because I think that, just we're so used to the go, or accomplishing this, ticking this, checking that we, number one, you checked one thing, you haven't even celebrated that. You haven't even rested for that. And now you're on to the next thing. And I'm talking about myself. And so it's intentional to be like, okay, so if I teach my girls, let's celebrate every little, when we check in, let's celebrate that. And they're like, well, that's a good thing, right? Because you're a step or two further than you would have been had you not did that little thing. So let's celebrate that. Or also I say, like, if they're, like you said just a minute ago, if there's no, if you're setting a goal or whatever, and there's no obvious or clear gain, that doesn't mean that it's not moving. It doesn't mean that you have it. You just don't see it right now. Like you said, the air is still flowing. The air is still flowing. So yeah. So I love that, and I think that that's so important for people to get. And I think we need to keep talking about it, keep encouraging, and keep pushing it, because if they really have to grab that, because that's where the growth comes from. That's where the intentionality comes from. That's where mindset elevation comes in. And just what is it? The power of choice and just knowing, I love that. I love the title of that book too. That's great.
Thank you. It is about, because I wrote that book during I actually wrote that book after I left my 6-figure corporate job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Had enough. I had enough. And it's not that it was a bad job, because I actually enjoyed what I did. I loved what I did. But I had surgery. So I left my job in May, but I had surgery in February, and I was out on a medical leave, and I was going back to the doctor. There was a few, complications. He was extending my time off. And then finally it came to the month of May, and he was like, you're good physically to go back. And I'm like, but I'm not. Like, you're saying, based off of you touching, my stomach, based off of what your assessment is. But according to my assessment, and I have a deeper assessment because I know what I feel like, right? I know what my normal is. I know when I'm not feeling well. And so it was a toss up between my total healing, and that's mind, body, and spirit. So they were just looking at the body. Okay, the incision looks good. Everything is okay. It's progressing. It's going to take more time, but you're clear to go back to work. No, I'm not. Because my job had started to become a little stressful, and it was a mental battle. And I'm like, my healing is going to regress. It's going to go backwards if my mental is falling apart. Right. So if I'm upset with being there, if I'm feeling attacked, if I'm feeling bothered, I just said I couldn't do it. So I had to make a choice. 6 figures, me. Here I am today. Solo entrepreneur. Now I'm riding out my business. I said, this is why God gave me a backup plan in the first place, right? So I had to take that leap of faith, and I had to choose me. Not that I didn't like them, but I had to choose me. You're making me choose. Come back, jeopardize my health, wellness, and all of this good stuff, and make sure your company grows. No, I had to choose me. And this book was a declaration to say that I have the power to choose. Now, listen, I'm not telling everybody to go leave your job. I know you feel like they breaking your soul. Baby, listen, I'm not trying to tell nobody to run, for the hills. But what I am saying is that you do have the right to be your own advocate. And if you're not your advocate, who else is going to do it? People on the job wasn't going to say, well, Sheniqua, do you feel ready? Can I give you a lesser assignment? Can we back off of you and not call you and email you all the time so that you can continue your healing journey? They weren't going to do none of that. So I had to choose me. And you know what? I had to become comfortable with that decision, because there is power of choice. I don't care how busy the world is. The world is going to be high stressful. It's just going to be that way. But that doesn't mean your world has to be.
Right.
So I made the choice.
And just to talk about that, because I can resonate with that a lot. I left my job, 6 figures as an educator, 14 years in June. And now I'm out here, and I'm doing little things here and there.
we just out here in the waves, girl, just in the waves.
I'm like,
trying to swim, trying to float.
Lord, leave me, like guide me, So just talk, give some encouraging words for women that are out here and that are just doing it and trying to and knowing that this is what they had to do, knowing that this was the move that they needed to make. But in that move, there's peaks and valleys, and there's times when you're like, okay, and you start to think and say, like, is this the right thing? And then I just go back and be like, you didn't tell me this for nothing, right? You didn't, even though I may right now be a little jaded, it might be a little, but I know what you said when you said it. So
Yes.
what was that like for you? How did you get through? Because I know, or tell me, did you feel the same way in
Oh,
that?
girl, yeah. Still do to this day. To this day. And there's a picture circulating on social media, the life of an entrepreneur. And it's just all scribble scrabble all over. Like it's exactly right. Because when those clients start coming in, you're like, oh yeah, like you're feeling all good. But then when you have that time when they're not coming in, you're like, okay, so should I start working the poll? Like what my plan B is? Like, I don't know. But you're right. I knew what God had said. And in fact, I had asked God. Matter of fact, when I started this job, the very first time when I started that job that I left, I heard God say, "This is your last job." And I was like, I just got in. Like, it's
Wow.
nice, it's pretty. Like, and I was so enthused because it was so clean, it was so modern. Like I was vibing. I was like, okay, you talking about it's my last job, but it's the first day. I'm just getting started here. Like, let me see what I can do. But he was putting me on alert. And then as things started to shift, and you can always feel the shift, but people ignore the shift.
For
Same
sure.
thing happens in relationships. You feel the shift, but you ignore the shift. And that's when things start going downhill. And I had asked God consecutively, is it my time yet? Is it my time to leave? Is it my time to leave? And I thought God was being, his timing. I had to wait it out and all of that good stuff. He was telling me, yes.
It
I
was
had
you.
the green light, but it was me. He's like, you keep asking me the same question. I open the door, you closing the door behind you as you starting a job. And I was like, no, we're gonna leave it open because this your last job. So I was leaving the door open, you pulling it closed behind you. So for those of you, and especially those who are believers, and if God has given you the green light, and the only way to know for sure is to have a good relationship with God. So
Come on.
that's your prayer, that's your reading his word, understand, not only reading his word, you got to understand his word, right? Reading comprehension, Miss Teacher Lady, right?
Yeah.
We know about reading comprehension. You can
That's
read it
it.
all day. Every Sunday you can read it, but if you don't comprehend it and you can't play it in your own life. Like, what
Yes.
does this mean to me? So when I read my word, I know what Moses is doing. I know what Daniel is doing. I know what these folks is doing, but what does this mean for me? And it's okay to ask that question. What's in it for me? That's human nature. But when you know that you know that you know, then you need to start trusting you more. It's not that you don't trust God, it's the fact that you don't trust you. But your not trusting you is a reflection on your quote unquote trust of him.
Come on. Say
Right?
that again. Say that
Right?
again.
Right? Our lack of trust in ourselves is a direct correlation. It is lining up with our trust in him. So we can't just do lip service. We can't just say, oh Lord, I trust you. We singing the songs, oh, I trust you, Lord. But do you? Because you don't trust yourself. And does he
Right.
not dwell within inside of us?
That's it. That's a
So
good
you got
one
to
right
trust
there.
yourself the way you trust him. And then you have to put a plan together, right? God will never see the righteous forsaken or sees begging for bread. So we have to learn how to get the strategy. We have to get the plan. By the grace of God, he gave me businesses. So while I was working a full-time job, I also was starting my businesses. So I was getting the foundation, the groundwork set in place. So listen, I quit the job in May. June, girl, I was skipping. I was still traveling. I was still doing all the things that I was doing before. July, I was over here, over there. I was living the life, the vida loca. But guess what? By September, October, oh Jesus. November is like, oh, now I got the shaky leg. My legs are shaking. I'm like, is that what you said, Lord? Is that what you told me? Now you start dibbling, dabbling. But again, that's a reflection on my trust with me. I know what he said, but now I don't trust me. But what I had to learn to do is, baby, you got to put in the work.
That's it.
You can't sit around and binge watch TV talking about, oh, it's for my mental health. I need to support my mental health. right? Because I go through it now. Everybody has like seasonal depression, right?
Yeah.
Most people do. I suffer from that. I suffer from depression. I'm acknowledging of that. I understand that. But
Mm-hmm.
depression doesn't have me, right? I'm
Come
not
on.
building this relationship with depression. I understand. And because I understand that this was an entanglement that I had, right? I don't dive into it like how I used to. I've learned to support myself, hence giving myself grace. So if
Yep.
I want to do nothing today, I don't do nothing today. But guess what? I better grind tomorrow, right?
Yep.
So we have to have that balance. And I really don't like that word balance. What I call it is a reprioritization. So
Mm-hmm.
today, I'm sitting up in the front seat. Tomorrow, kid got a doctor's appointment. Okay, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna let you sit in the front seat. But as soon as you're done, you're gonna move over and I'm getting back in the front.
Yeah.
It's just
Mm-hmm.
about reestablishing, realigning those priorities. But you have to make certain you exercise those muscles of putting yourself first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So my strategy, my safeguard, you done been to all of the courses, you got all of the books, you know what to do. It's now just time for you to implement.
That's it.
And that's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? You can go to the hospital, you can get the prescriptions. The doctor can tell you what the problem is, but it doesn't mean doctor says you got diabetes. That don't mean you're gonna stop eating sugar. Don't mean that. Because you got
No.
that insulin, you think you're gonna eat more sugar. Oh, well, I got the insulin to cover me. Word, it doesn't work like that.
Mm-mm.
But when
Mm-mm.
you have a life or death experience, right? When you have this death-defying experience and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that no more, then you'll stop.
Right.
So it's not until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired is when you'll make the change. So you go into that job, you sick and tired, but it's not until you get tired of being sick and tired that you'll make the change, that you say, you know what? Here's this 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Here's
Mm-hmm.
this 2 weeks notice.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to choose to do something that's not going to break my soul.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I'm trying my best to keep it together. And all y'all doing is breaking and negative talking. I need to remove myself from that space.
For sure. For sure. And life is just too short
It
to be
is.
unhappy, to be stressed out, to not do what makes you feel good, but that does not sit with you. Like, I think that is so important that women get still,
Mhm.
meditate. I think a lot of us are not walking in our purpose or
Yes.
not choosing ourselves
Mhm.
because we don't sit still enough to
Mhm.
hear from God. We
Mhm.
don't sit still enough or when we are praying, we're talking, doing all the talking.
Mhm.
Maybe we need to listen and,
Mhm.
and, and really open up to hearing. And even if it doesn't seem like what we want to know or what we need or what we want to do, we still have to listen because God's plan is greater and
Yes.
it's going to navigate us where we need to go, right?
Absolutely.
So I just think that it's very important that we implement those strategies of being intentional, giving yourself
Yes.
grace, but being intentional. And then just a minute, just to touch on, you said something like, I knew that I had to go. Now I have to work. I have to, because things,
Mhm.
but there's
Yes.
different seasons. And I know women are talking about this soft life and doing all of this or whatever. But right now I'm in a season. I have balance, or the what'd you say? The operating.
Reprioritizing of it. Yes.
Yeah, the reprioritizing or the wheel. I also, when you said that, I envisioned a wheel with all the parts of
Yes.
our lives.
Yes.
And, nothing is equal as far, that's why you said the balance is not really
Yes.
a thing, but
Yes.
what needs what takes the front seat, what takes the back seat, right?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
so in this season right now, and I even though I have that prioritization, I'm not in a soft life right now because I'm building something. I'm
Yes.
establishing something. So there are nights when I may be up an hour early, an hour later than I would like, or I may get up an hour
Mhm.
earlier than I like. That's the season that I'm in. But even
Yes.
like you said, like today, I have nothing on the calendar. So today is going to be my grace day. I did what I had to do
Yes.
this morning. I did what I had to do. And now I'm
Yeah.
going to,
Let's
it
see
saves
what's
me
on
to
TV. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So yes, I love
Absolutely.
that, Dr. Sheniqua. I mean, this is great. Like, it really is. So just so I could talk forever. I can keep going, but for time's sake, and let's just say a happy birthday in the comments to Dr. Sheniqua today. Blessings on blessings.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you. Thank
hey, sis, are you struggling with forgiveness? Are you struggling with acknowledging things? Are you struggling with growing from past pain and trauma that has happened to you? We all have a story. And in this book, I share part memoir, part methodology. Part of the story is about my life and on how I was able to grow forward from past pain, but using the framework that is inside. So if you're looking for a simple strategy that works, you are going to want to order this book. Go to tashatalkslife.com for your autographed copy. Let's get back into the episode. There's two things before we end. I'm going to share your links to where people can find you, and you can share. You could tell us a little bit about it. But we do a segment that's called This or That.
Yes,
and it's a segment where I will name two things, this or that, and you're going to name which one you prefer over the other. Okay. And then after that, we'll end with a mindset declaration or affirmation that's dear to you that our readers can implement and add to their journals, because we add declarations at the end of every episode. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. So first, let's start with the this or that. Okay. So first one, heels or flats?
Heels, even though my feet don't like them. It's a short person's complex. I'm like, I gotta go with the heels.
Right. Wine or cocktails?
Cocktails.
Yes. Beach or ski resort?
Baby, you better beach me. Beach all the way. Beach, and more beaches.
Right. Lazy river or roller coaster?
Oh, I used to love roller coasters, but then I started with these migraines, so they don't love me as much. So I'm gonna go with the lazy river.
Okay. Panties or thongs?
Girl, panties. Give me some full coverage. I don't need the cheeks flapping and carrying on. Because you can be sexy in whatever you wear. So I will go with the full coverage. Give me some full coverage.
Read a book or watch a movie?
Now this is gonna be funny. And people know me. I am the CEO of Stronger Through Faith Media. It's a publishing company. So I do books. I write books. I've got 15 books to date. But I am going to go with watch a movie. Because you know what? I don't even really like reading that much. Y'all can still bring your books to me. Y'all can still bring your books. I'm a reader, but I don't really enjoy reading like that.
What about audiobooks?
I like audiobooks. I find them like I get distracted when I'm listening to an audiobook. So when I do listen to an audiobook, I have to be like in the car or getting my hair braided. When I'm getting my hair braided, that's the best time for me to listen to an audiobook, because it'll hold my attention, because while you're getting your hair braided, you're looking for something to keep the time passing by. But just on a regular sitting at home, because my mind will wander. I'll be writing out Facebook. Oh, that was good. That's a Facebook post. And I'll be doing way too much with the audiobooks, but I definitely enjoy a movie much better.
Okay. That's good. Makeup or fresh face?
I think I'm in a season where makeup is the thing for me. I love a good beat face. I love how it makes me feel. And I'm in a season. Before, I was in that season where, girl, don't makeup. Lip gloss is all I could do. It's a mascara. That's probably about it.
Right.
But I think I'm loving the beat face. I'm loving that.
Very nice. Okay. Yeah. Coffee or tea?
Oh, tea. We're not doing no coffee. We do tea. And I still, to this day, I drink my natural teas. And I've broke the habit of putting sugar in it. So when I drink my teas plain. I don't even put honey in it.
Oh, wow.
You're just drinking dirt and water. No. Because I realize that tea has medicinal purposes. And if I'm covering it up with all of the sweeteners and everything, then I'm actually, weakening its powers. So I'd rather drink it in its full form, because I understand what teas can do for the healing of my body. So it's just a wellness thing that I drink it just plain. I take it like it's medicine. Because it is medicine. The roots, the herbs, the spices, those things are medicine. But in today's busy world, we've gotten away from that. So I take my tea straight.
That's good. No, that's really good. Good news. Couple more. Dark skinned men or light skinned men?
I love me some light skinned men. I've been trying to break it. I've been trying, but I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm from back in the days, you know, the Albie Shores, you know, the Christopher
Okay.
Williams, like I don't yeah. So
Uh-huh.
they still in style, y'all. They still in style. Don't let them think they out of style. They still in style. But I don't knock like, hey, a chocolate brother. I don't discriminate. But
Right,
I just
right,
got
right.
this thing. I'm trying to break it, but we going
Listen,
hashtag
you
light
don't have
skin.
to. That is funny. Okay, a couple more. Pizza or burger?
Well, I am vegan, vegetarian. That's the type of diet that I'm on. So unless you're
Nice.
giving me a good vegan burger, I would probably go with pizza. I would go
Okay,
with pizza.
okay.
Mhm.
Skirt or pants?
Pants.
A morning
Yeah.
person or a late night person?
I am actually, surprisingly, God has told me that I am a morning person, where I thought I
Okay.
was a late night, but I wake up sometimes the eyes pop open before the alarm clock, and I get the bulk of my day done in the morning.
Mhm,
So I do have a
mhm.
lot of chill time in the evening because I'm done with everything. So I have literally become a morning person.
That's nice. Yeah, I like that. Dogs,
Mhm.
cats. Dogs or cats?
Neither. Neither. But I got a couple of dog nieces and nephews. So my brother has a dog, so that's my nephew dog. And one of my sister friends got one of the little terriers or whatever. So I got to have, the little niece dog. But no, if I
I
had to
hear you.
choose, I definitely would go with a dog and not a cat because I'm not a cat person. No
She
offense to
said
anyone that
neither.
loves them. Yes.
Neither.
If you ask me, neither.
Okay. This is the last one. This is a
Okay.
three-part. This is three choices.
Okay.
Chef, housekeeper, or chauffeur. Only could pick one.
Chef.
Okay.
Yes, it's on my vision. It was on my vision board. I did a vision board a couple of years ago, and chef is on there. I do love housekeeping. I do,
Mhm.
and because of my new situation, I had to give up my housekeeper.
Mhm.
And I'm still praying for that to come back around. But a chef, baby,
Yeah,
would
no.
change my life. Would change my world.
I know that's right. I would
Mhm.
pick a chauffeur. I just rather just my car's ready,
Mm.
get in the car and go. Every time I need to
Yes.
drive, I just do not like driving these days. I don't know.
I've declared that over my life. A chauffeur. One time I went into a car dealership and I touched the car and I said, "This is the car that my chauffeur gonna drive."
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah, get me a girl. If y'all not going and laying hands on stuff, you going to houses, you touching houses, listen.
I
You
was
gonna live in that season of lack. You better start
That's
increasing.
it. That's it. I was just telling my sister because I'm that person that go on Zillow at like 2 in the morning and be looking
Yes,
at them $2 million
yes,
houses. And I told my
yes.
sister, I said, I'm gonna take it a step further because when they have an open house, I'm gonna walk in with
Yes.
my kids and we gonna
With
walk
the oil.
around and
Don't forget the oil on your hands, baby. Don't forget the oil on
because
your hands and your feet and just go walking around. This
and just go
is
in.
nice.
Because at the end of the day, even bringing them will give
Yes.
them something to think about. So now we work in triple time, double, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, so yes, I
Yes.
said I'm gonna take it a step further. But yes, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. That was fun. So before we end, I want you just to first tell us where we can find you. I'm gonna put up your link where that
Yes.
everyone can find you and connect with you.
So you can find me on all over social media at Sheniqua Inspires. And I do have some links. I have some free giveaways that I want to make certain that people have. I do realize and recognize that, especially during the holiday season, the winter months, we kind of shift into this moodiness, this not feeling the energy, the spirit. Sometimes we feel down because of the holidays and we start missing our loved ones. But if you go to the link, the bit.ly, so bit.ly/stop sad, I am offering you a free resource guide and it's going to give you 10 tips. It's called "Tis the Season Not to Be Sad." And it's going to give you 10 tips that's going to help you to cope with that seasonal affective disorder because there is actually a diagnosis. See, there we go again, feeling and dismissing. We feel it and dismiss it. But there is an actual diagnosis, and it is called seasonal affective disorder. That's when your mood changes based off of the seasons. It happens when the sun starts to set earlier, so we get less daylight hours. It starts to get colder. And so I'm offering you 10 strategies that's going to help you to cope. Not to say that it's going to eradicate it, but it is going to help you get through. So I want to offer that to you all. Again, I am a registered nurse by profession. Health and wellness is what I do. And I have a newsletter called The Wellness Encounter. It is a weekly newsletter that comes out on Wednesdays, and it gives you that inspiration, that encouragement, and upliftment that you need, that you can then start to implement. So it also has some practical things that you can actually implement to help you live your best life. So I offer those freebies to you all, and I pray that you will take advantage of it, because again, the people perish from a lack of knowledge.
Come on.
Right. And if the knowledge is there, if the information is coming to you, then, all you can do is then receive it and use it. So if you're just going to click it, sign up for it, and never read it, don't even bother.
Right.
I appreciate the thought, but at this point in time, it's not the thought that we're going for. We're looking for the practical application. We have to if we want to be better, we have to start being able to apply what we have, because we think new stuff is going to come our way to heal us and set us free. But it's the stuff that we already have. We have what we need. We just don't use it. So I want to offer these resources to you if you promise to use it. But you can also find me all over social media: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. I'm Sheniqua Inspires, all across the board.
Thank you so much. That was so good. And lastly, all of this is going to be in the show notes. So you could click on it and find and connect with Dr. Sheniqua Inspires. Lastly, I do want to invite you ladies to the Vision Board and Goal Getting Mastermind happening January 6th. Location to be determined, but it will be in Long Island, New York. This is if you are a career-driven woman, mompreneur, or just someone who has a gift or a business inside of them and they just don't know where to start. You want to be in the room. Tickets right now are only $35. It will be going up to $50, but right now it's $35. So you can go to tashatalkslife.com to find out more about it, the details, raffles, speakers, a vending opportunity. It's just going to be a whole vibe, and I'm super excited. I already have some power speakers. I have a chef that is sponsoring. So yeah, it's going to be dope. So I'm super excited. So ladies, go to tashatalkslife.com to register for your early bird ticket. And Dr. Sheniqua, before you leave, again, like I said, we end each episode with a mindset declaration that we can add to our journals, that we can use to help us in a time of need or time of just whatever we're looking for and searching for. So if you can just give us a declaration that we can write down and repeat, that would be great.
Yes. What I desires me.
I like that. Say that again.
What I desires me.
I love that. There's some attraction in there.
Yes,
like, I love that.
What I had to slow my voice down when I said it, because I wanted to make certain that I felt it.
Yes, and I felt it. Because so what I desires me. Yes, that's an energy to have for sure. So ladies, write that down, add that to your journals. And so thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you again, Dr. Sheniqua, for coming in and gracing us with your presence. Ladies, remember that your past does not dictate your future. I want you to be well and be blessed, and see you next time.
Take care.